Welcome to this edition of Finance in 5 Minutes presented by Stratfield Solutions. Today we're going to be looking at how to find the present value, PV, using Microsoft Excel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our channel for future video updates. So looking at the formula, what we have is we have a PV function, and that determines the present value a cash flow is worth given a duration of time, a future value, and an interest rate. We might also have recurring payments, which we'll show in the function when we get into Excel. You could sure do this by hand, but it takes a lot of steps, and fortunately Excel has a super easy formula to use. So we'll make use of that and have that for our advantage here. So some tips and cautions with this formula: make sure, just like you were doing with any of the other finance formulas in Excel, to list out all the information you know about the series of cash flows, including the future value if you have one, the interest rate, the number of periods, the payments if there are any, and also if you're using payments, make sure to validate if they start at the beginning, which is an annuity due of the period, or at the end, referring to an ordinary annuity of the period. Some formulas contain guess. PV is not one of them, and it's optional, and since it does not apply, we won't spend any more time talking about it. The formula syntax for the PV function in Excel is the PV have to have an equal sign ahead of it, like all functions in Excel. After that, the open parentheses, the rate of interest, the number of periods, payments, if there are any, future value, and type. And you'll notice the last two I've put in italics. The number of period is the applicable number of periods for the given interest rate. Payments are the recurring payments. If there are none, you can enter 0 for that. The reason I put those two values in italics is because they are optional. The future value being the first, that's an optional input. If you do not have a future value, you can either enter 0 or Excel assumes that the future value is 0. Finally, if you are using payments, make sure to validate, again, reminder, if they start at the beginning of the period or at the end of the period. That is indicated within the PV formula using the type input. Excel's default is 0 for ordinary annuity payments at the end of the period. So if you have payments at the beginning, you would need to switch that to 1. So with that, let's jump over into Excel for a practical example. We are in Microsoft Excel, and what we have is a simple problem here. What is the present value in an account today? If in 10 years the value of the account is 1,000, the interest rate is 8% annual, and deposits of $5 are made into the account every year, starting a year from today. Well, I've gone ahead and extracted that information to put into our table here. This should really say the future value, so let me correct that really quick. The future value, FV, is 1,000. That's what it said if in 10 years the account's going to be. Payments into the account are $5. This is going to take place over 10 years, and the interest rate is 8%. In the yellow box, we'll use that PV formula we showed in the slides, equals PV, open parentheses, the rate, 8%, comma, 10 periods, comma, $5 of payments, comma, $1,000 of future value. I don't need the type because they are taking place, the payments are taking place at the end of the period. It says starting a year from today. Close the parentheses and hit enter. I get a lot of questions about why this value is negative. The reason that this is negative is that the future value and the payments were entered as positive numbers. So Excel sees this as, which direction is the cash going? If I was to invest, meaning the cash would be coming out of my hands into an account, I would be negative investing $496.74 so that I would get $5 every year for the next 10 years and a lump sum of $1,000 at the end of the 10 years. So that's why this is negative. You could, if you so chose, to put a negative in front of the PV, change that to present value if it helps you think about it that way. Either way, that would be the present value in dollars today of this cash flow and the lump sum at the end of the period. That's all there is to the PV formula function in Excel. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please ensure to subscribe to our channel and check us out at StraffieldSolutions.com for more finance and accounting in 5-minute mini-series videos. Have a good one.